Okay, guys, welcome back to round 2 of our Wednesday night standard showdown. We got a pretty nice one here for you. We have Mardu. I don't know if he's vehicles. It was just Mardu. So he could just be playing Mardu.
Yeah.
Against black-white vampires. So we'll see if we got some spicy brew action going on here for you guys.
Yeah. Hopefully, it'll be just some good magic.
Yeah, some interesting matchups. These are not some decks that we
typically
really seen, especially at the competitive stage, like the GPs. We've seen some mono white vampires do pretty well at the Pro Tour.
Shoot, I'm curious to see if it's maybe a brew of that mono white, maybe with the black 1-drops with the drain abilities.
Yeah, there's only one vampire that has that ability.
That is true. And maybe, yeah, but were there really that many like Lord-esque abilities in the mono white? I believe there was only.
So there wasn't any like Lord-esque abilities. They were playing Oketra's Monument and they were playing Angel of Invention. I don't know if Dustin's really gonna go that deep.
Yeah, and I believe both of those just hit all creatures. Obviously, the Oketra's Monument reducing the cost of white cards, but
yeah, I doubt in black-white we're gonna see something like Oketra's Monument. We could see maybe something like Trial of Solidarity.
Yeah.
Expect to see Maverick Fane.
Yeah.
He has access to black, so we might see copies of Sanctum Seeker.
Maybe some early removal and push. Maybe Vraska's Contempt. Maybe in the board.
But that's the fun part. We don't really know.
We don't know. We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out with you guys.
Maybe we're witnessing the beginning of a brand new format-breaking deck. I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
It's not playing Attuned with Aether or Long Chest Cub or Rogue Refiner. So
You're right. It's probably not. But hey, who knows? Maybe.
I am interested to see if this is Mardu vehicles, because everywhere that I've seen his deck written down, it's just been Mardu. Could be Mardu vehicles.
Could be. If it's
that's what I would expect.
I'm curious to see if it's maybe a Mardu control deck.
Oh, that'd be sick.
That would be really good.
But
yeah,
players look like they're drawing their opening hands, and yeah, it looks like vehicles.
Yeah, yep. That's what I'm. It's kind of the conclusion I
came
to.
But it looks like he's gonna take a mulligan.
Yeah.
And
we can see. Oh wow, see the bottom of his deck there. Definitely looks like Mardu vehicles.
Yeah.
So. And then black-white vampires. So.
Yeah, he did have a copy of Duskborn Sky Marcher in his deck.
Was that the Mardu vehicles?
No, the black-white.
Black-white vampires. Okay,
you know what that card does? It's so it's a one white for a 1/1 flyer.
Okay.
And it has pale white tap, give another vampire +1/+1.
Oh, is it just till end of turn?
Yes, it is just till end of turn.
I think that'll be good if he can pair it with the 3/1 with I'm sorry, the 1/1 that gets +2/+0 when attacking.
Yes, Adonto Vanguard. I believe is the name of that card. That card is nuts and lidded.
Very good. Yes.
You'll see Vicious Conquistador in the black-white hand for Dustin here.
Yeah, and I noticed on the back side of his hand he had 2 fast lands and a plains. Yeah,
yep, that's what it looks like. I can't see what that. Is that a Forsake the Worldly?
That's what it looked like. Yeah. Leads off. Yeah. 1-drop.
That he's letting it read it. Wait a second. That does not have haste.
Yeah. No. Yeah. He's just letting his opponent read it.
Yeah.
That's typical.
There might be a lot of that in this match.
Yeah. I feel so. I believe that is one of the 1-drop drain when attacking. Unless I'm mistaken.
Yes, that one does not gain life. That one just
it just drains. Yeah,
takes 1 life from your opponent.
I believe we'll see the fast land. Yep, Concealed Courtyard. And curious to see what his turn 2 play is here. Oh,
it's a Duskborn Sky Marcher.
Yeah, just drop the 1/1. Is just get in for 1 or
2 technically.
Yeah, technically 2. He's gonna drain for 1, and then I'm sorry, his opponent's gonna lose 1, and then he's going to hit for 1.
Yep, and we have a pretty slower start from Chris here.
I expect a
turn one Canyon Slough, doesn't play anything. Drew a PNLR.
That's not going to be a pretty strong turn 3.
He's got a Spire of Industry, a Fatal Push, a Heart of Kieran, a Scrappy Scrounger, Spiring Vantage.
Yep. Fast
See what he goes for here. He's got 2 Scrappy Scroungers.
Do you think he'll play the Heart of Karen out, or
I probably would, just so eventually you can play your Scrappy Scroungers and then have
them
a blocker, and you could also double spell on turn 3, which is going to be pretty important. He can also play Pia Nalar next turn.
Yeah, looks like that's potentially the play he's going for with pushing on the. I believe you said Endanto Vanguard.
Yes, is the and so that was a Forsake the Worldly in his deck. So he just cycled that.
Yeah,
he's gonna regret that in a second once he sees the Heart of Kieran. I don't think he might not know what he's playing against.
Yeah, he might think Chris is on a Mardu control deck.
Yeah,
so,
it could be.
Yeah, drawing another Canyon Slough there. Not the best, but we know he has the Spire of Industry in play, so in his hand.
Yep, so he's just taking his time. Play his tap land. Play that. Dustin might be
a very good heads-up play if he was. He doesn't think he's under that much pressure from.
No, he's a 17. He's fine.
Oh, yeah. Gives him a double spell for turn 4 if he wants to go.
He could go Scrap Heap,
yeah.
or What 3-drop are we seeing? That is a. I don't remember what the name of the card is. It's a 2 and a black for a 2/2 flyer. That enters, it drains 1. It drains, drain and gain 1.
Yeah.
Skymarch Bloodletter is the card.
Oh, yes. Seeing this is definitely a brew.
Yes, this is definitely his own design.
Yeah, I definitely think it has in a similar format of local shop. I think it still has legs. It can still get there.
Yeah, I am also questioning the main decking of Forsake the Worldly.
Oh yeah.
It's a very. I mean, it has cycling, so it's fine.
It's not completely dead, but it is. It might hurt in the long run. Yep. So we see the
Scrappy Pier. It's probably gonna crew Heart of Kieran.
Get in for 4.
Yep. And
start
then
pressuring Dustin's life total.
Plays the other Scrappy Scrounger, which can also crew Heart of Kieran, leave it back to block.
Yep. Using a Vigilance ability. Yep. Expect we'll see the Spire in that.
Yeah, I mean, if he drew another like planes or something, he might play that. I don't know.
Yeah, he might play that, but
he just said go.
He just said pass without playing the land.
Didn't play his 4th land.
Curious.
I am confused.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So.
I don't know.
See,
I'm curious
what Dustin does here.
Yeah. Looks like he drew another
Skymarch Bloodletter.
Yep. And it looks like he does have his 4th land in hand for Dustin. He drew plains. Had a plains.
Yeah, but I think he's had that. So we're gonna see another Bloodletter here.
Yep.
It's gonna drain.
I think maybe he might have, unless he's planning on playing a white spell, he may have wanted to tap a little bit differently. But I think it's okay if he's not planning on playing it. I believe Dustin didn't play his 5th land either. So curious.
Yeah, that's interesting.
There's a red-white fast land in for draw for Chris.
Yeah, that's not exactly what he wants to draw in here. You'd rather find some more action or some more untapped lands.
We know
it's also possible we could have been wrong that it wasn't I thought it was a Spire of Industry that's at the left of his hand, but
yes.
Maybe it could be promo unlicensed disintegration.
That is
actually now that I look at it, that might be what it is.
Yeah. It looks like Chris is thinking about playing. It looked like he was thinking about playing the fast land and a Scrap Heap Scrounger. Obviously, play the fast land.
I would probably end up playing the Pianalar and use your mana a little bit better.
Yeah, it looks like he is playing a Scrap Heap Scrounger, maybe wanting to get a little bit more aggressive with into the 2/2 on the side of Dustin.
What Chris is saying is Chris saying, well, you're going to race.
Yes.
And
I think Chris wins that.
With the unlicensed disintegration that I'm now pretty sure is in his hand, I believe he does win that race.
Yeah.
Although...
Plus trading favors Chris anyway.
Dustin draws something like a Sanctum Seeker here.
Oh, yes.
That could really... So that was a Legion's Landing that Dustin drew.
Yeah.
Which he has a playmat that is... I believe this is Anointed... this Bishop of the Bloodstained, actually, I think is this one. When it enters the battlefield, I think it drains life equal to the number of vampires you control.
Which I believe would be 4 in this case, because I believe all 4 of these creatures are vampires.
Yes, they all are.
Yeah. So even
Chris is going to go down to 2.
With this attack?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
Now, I don't know if Bishop of the Bloodstained gains life. I don't think it does.
No, I don't believe it does either.
So
the most, unless Chris has a way to, did he draw an untapped land there?
did he draw Toolcraft Exemplar? That gives him lethal.
That would.
So he was originally 1 damage off. He crews with one of the Scrap Heap Scroungers, attacks with the other one of the Heart of Kirin for 7, and unlights Disintegration, the Bishop of the Bloodstained, putting Dustin to 10 damage, putting him to 1. But the fact that he drew a 1-drop way to crew Heart of Kirin gives him lethal.
I was going to suggest playing the PNLR and crewing that way, and then you would need an untapped land to get the to get the activation. But I believe he's just going to play the unlicensed Disintegration first, get that blocker off the table.
Yeah,
I
and
assume we'll
this is
see
going to be lethal.
Yeah. I believe this is lethal from Chris. We'll just see.
Actually, no, you're right. PNLR also would have been lethal.
Well, I believe he needed an untapped land.
I don't think so. You actually play PNLR, use it and the token to crew the Heart of Kirin. You pay 1 mana to sacrifice the Thopter, make it so the anointed Bishop of the Bloodstained can't block, and then attack with everything. That also is another line.
You're right. That's my. Yeah, I was thinking with the fire breathing ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're correct. I believe we just see Chris go to attackers. I believe he's probably confirming that he does in fact have lethal, but I assume we'll just see a crew and then
make sure he remembers his
trigger.
Toolcraft Exemplar trigger.
Yeah.
Think we might be talking about the trigger here, or
maybe he went
explaining what's happening.
Yeah, maybe he missed a trigger. Might have been.
Maybe.
No, or he may have said it in a way, but I believe at F&M level you can't really miss triggers. So.
Yeah. So we see a crew here.
Yeah, he's seen. Yep.
Attack with everything.
Yep.
And that
should be lethal.
10 points of damage.
Yep.
10 is greater than 8.
Yep.
Dustin's going to go to -2, and he's going to scoop up his cards here.
All right.
So while our players are going to look at their sideboards here, we just want to remind you that you can actually see this match, every other match you see tonight, and all of your favorite matches from our entire streaming past on our YouTube page at youtube.com/TopDeckProductionsStream. The Top Deck Productions YouTube channel is your best resource to find some of your favorite matches and your most memorable moments that you've seen on the stream. Be sure to subscribe there to be notified of when we upload replays from our weekly streams. And just again, that is youtube.com/TopDeckProductionsStream. I was actually watching one of my matches from, I think, like a couple weeks ago on there earlier today. It was Modern. It was playing Blue-White Control.
Not just Guy? Just Blue-White?
No, this is before I...
Before you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was against Burn. It was close.
Ooh, yeah. Sounds
it's actually funny. The guy I was playing against, Zachary Creamer, had recently switched out which mountains he was using. And he realized after I pathed him in Game 1, he had forgotten to put the mountains back in his deck.
All of them?
Yes.
So is he playing with an illegal deck?
He was playing with a 56-card deck.
Oh.
Now, at both casual and F&M, but also Comp REL, the fix for a decklist error like that is to replace any missing cards with basic lands.
Does he just get a pick?
Whatever basic lands you want to put in.
Oh, so
it would have worked out perfectly for him either way.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, does he get to pick the basics? That's what I'm curious.
Yes,
if I'm not,
you get to pick. If you're missing a card like that, you do get to pick the basics that you put in. You're not just gonna have swamps in your blue-red deck.
Well, no. I'm talking about like he could pick the matching arts he has out. Out of his bag. He doesn't just get. Like,
I don't think that's really gonna matter.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter, but like at Comp REL, it really doesn't matter. But yeah, I was actually curious. 'Cause there was a play similar to that happened with Escape Ship. He had sided out his Singleton Forest in the previous match. And going into the next game, he got Path, but forgot to put it back in. So.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't know exactly how it works if you.
No, it was exactly how you described. He just got he just got to fix his sideboard because he was actually the one that called it out on himself. So he just he re-sideboarded. The funny thing was, it actually ended up causing him to win the game because he was able to get his second green source off of the Path to Exile because he was
interesting.
Yeah, but I guess that's another story for another time. We see modern.
Yeah, I was when I was playing the Star City Games Classic a while ago. When I was playing Blue-Red Control, I had a similar thing. I realized I had forgotten to side out my big Chandra Flamecaller.
Yeah.
And I drew it for turn at one point. Called the judge on myself, and the fix was I fixed my deck so that the Chandra, but I wasn't compensated for that the card I drew.
Okay.
So I was essentially down a card, and it mattered.
Ooh,
it mattered hard.
Yeah. Looks like we're seeing opening hands here between Dustin and Chris, though.
Yeah. So Dustin has Walk the Plank in his deck.
Interesting.
I'm not sure how good that's going to be against Chris. It's not going to hit the vehicles from Chris.
Yeah, sorcery speed hurts him there a little bit.
Yeah, I like the look of Chris's hands. Looks like it had a decent number of lands and threats, so he's probably going to keep that.
Yeah, looks like he is. Dustin going down to 6 here. Do you think Dustin, if with access to sweepers in his sideboard, he would bring them in, similar to what we had seen?
So I don't know how experienced Dustin is with this Mardu Vehicles deck. You saw him cycle Forsake the Worldly earlier in the game, which is something that I personally would not do against a Mardu Vehicles deck. I would also be assuming that my opponent, if he's playing Mardu, is playing Mardu Vehicles.
Yeah, and I believe at the time we had seen all 3 colors. We had only seen a Fatal Push.
Yeah.
So it was somewhat safe to assume maybe he was on Mardu Vehicles, especially since you see those 3 color combination. Maybe a little bit less like he's on the deck.
Sweepers like Fumigate are not that good against Mardu Vehicles. Scrappy Scroungers just come back. Doesn't kill Heart of Kirin. It doesn't kill Hazaret. We're gonna see your Dustin go down to 5. I don't exactly know what was wrong with that hand. I saw it had at least 1 swamp, a Vicious Conquistador, and a Walk the Plank. So maybe it was just a 1-lander.
Yeah, maybe a 1-lander with a single 1-drop.
Yeah, maybe that could be possible. I don't know exactly. That's unfortunate. We like to get. Hopefully, we can still play a real game of Magic.
Yeah, maybe he just comes 1-drop, 1-drop, 1-drop.
Yeah, that's probably the opening he wants to see the most.
Yeah, especially against a Mardu Vehicles deck that's, I think its best draw is maybe turn 2 Heart of Kirin, turn 3 a play, and I think by that point he.
Yeah, well, the Mardu Vehicles' best draw is turn 1 Toolcraft and do turn 2 Heart of Kirin.
Yeah.
Attack for 3. Turn 3 probably like Toolcraft, Scrap Heap Scrounger, or maybe like Scrap Heap removal spell.
Yeah. And it looks like Dustin is keeping. I believe that was a scry at the top.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a copy of Walk the Plank in hand.
Okay.
I believe he also has a copy of Maverin Fane Dusk Apostle.
Ooh.
So that's something that's going to really pay him off for having all these vampires in his deck.
Yeah.
The basic plane's, however, not going to help him cast that Walk the Plank.
No,
so
he may be looking at
we'll see if he has a 2-drop. Doesn't look like it, unfortunately.
Nope. Yeah. The unfortunities of going to 5.
Yeah, mulliganing sucks.
Yeah. We
see
on Chris's side a Glorybringer and a Chandra Torch of Defiance.
Yeah, I think he also had an unlicensed Disintegration in his hand.
Yeah.
So he did the classic Mardu Vehicles thing where he went big.
Yeah.
Which I like here. He's probably going to play the role of the control deck while also trying to deal incremental points of damage and maybe just do a lot of damage in one turn. I think he drew a copy of a Braid.
Yeah, and I believe we do have a Spire of Industry in hand.
Yes. I believe that is a Spire in his hand.
I don't think there's no artifacts in Chris's hand to really turn on the Spire of Industry or
the unlicensed Disintegration. Not turning on the unlicensed Disintegration is rough, but he has all of his colors.
Oh, yeah.
So that's not something I really worry about.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt him too much.
Dustin here is just going to run out Maverin Fane.
Yeah.
Chris is probably going to kill that with an Abrade EOT.
Yep.
And then just play Chandra on an empty board. And I don't know if you guys have seen Chandra on an empty board. She runs rampant. It's real good.
It's quite strong.
Also does not get hit by Walk the Plank.
That is true. I'm curious to see, and I wonder if that was maybe a heads-up play by Chris. Maybe he thought Dustin was going to go maybe a little bit more removal heavy just to keep some of his cheaper creatures off the board and make him unable to crew his vehicles.
He probably has some number main deck, and he honestly just might not have that many cards for this matchup.
That
he
is
probably
true.
Most of the cards you probably want against mono red are the same as you probably want against this deck. Just cheap removal spells.
Yep. As you see a plus up from Chris
Yep.
and 2 damage to Dustin's face because you can't cast lands as much as we all wish we
Yeah,
could.
we'll try to get one of those just larger dice that are just easier to see on there, big
Yeah. Currently at
black
5.
dice.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that we can
For clarity.
keep track easily.
Yeah.
But
Dustin
I can't see
draw.
Dustin's hand that well. He does not have a good
Doesn't-
way to get rid
yeah.
of this Chandra.
It doesn't.
He's just gonna pass.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he drew a 4th land there.
And
Yeah.
I was saying Chandra can't get hit by Walk the Plank.
Yeah. It's not.
Walk the Plank would be really good
Yeah.
if it could hit Planeswalkers.
Yeah, and even if Dustin finds a way to deal with it, it looks like Chris drew another.
Yeah, there's another
Chandra.
one. I think from Chris here, we're just gonna see him play his land and play a Glorybringer,
Run out Glorybringer. Get
which
in.
that will walk the plank somehow.
Yeah.
Please tell me how a dragon dies from walking the plank. It just doesn't fly away. How does it even fit on the ship to begin with?
I think it's maybe a case of they take out its wings and then he just kind of falls through the plank.
It would just bleed out anyway.
That is true. But it's
So
but then
Chris here plus for the card, just dealt 2 damage. We're gonna see you're gonna attack with Glorybringer.
Yep. brings it out.
Next turn, that's probably gonna get hit by walk the plank, as we said.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 2 turns till this Chandra just ultimates goes.
And with a backup Chandra.
Yeah, that's.
Have you ever had the pleasure of ulting Chandra and then playing another
I
Chandra?
have.
Ah.
I did that against a blue-white approach opponent,
Ooh.
where I almost lost because it did not
Wow.
attack with one of my Thopters.
Disappointing. Looks like Dustin has drew his 4th land. Unfortunate for him, it's fast land.
Yeah,
So-
so it's gonna come into play on
Yeah.
tapped, but
He's just gonna get rid of that Glorybringer.
yeah, that was gonna happen
Yeah.
probably no matter what that turn.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris's hand is still pretty loaded. He's drawn a
Yep.
lot of lands here.
He is, but he drew an untapped land this turn in Plains. But depending on what the rest of his cards in his hand, I didn't get a good look there. He may want to be playing a. May just want to play this
Ooh.
fast land just for.
Yeah, it was
just
gonna
having
depend on this Chandra plus.
Mhm.
If he if he had like a 4-drop that he
Yeah.
wanted to play, he probably would have played the untapped land so he could
Yep.
hold up a Braid. But here you're gonna see him play this Aether Sphere Harvester probably.
Yeah, I believe so. Unless he. Yeah.
Okay, so he actually can't do that. You have to play the Aether Sphere Harvester
When you get the
when you
card.
plus the Chandra.
Yes.
So if we get our spotter, just tell him that planes can't be tapped. It can't be used to cast that. There's a lot of different iterations of Chandra
Mm-hmm.
that do effects like this.
So yeah.
Some of them say until end of turn.
That-
Chandra is one of the ones. This Chandra,
Chandra Torch of Defiance.
yeah, says when you plus,
Yes.
you then have the choice whether to play it or not.
Yes.
So it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
He just needs to tap his mana a little differently.
Yeah, he'll get to rewind. He'll just end up having to play that Plains after the fact.
Yeah.
It doesn't change a whole lot. He still has Unlicensed Disintegration available. Still has a Braid available.
Yeah. Now, if you do that at competitive REL, if you play your land after plussing Chandra, they will say you chose not to cast that spell.
Yeah. Now.
Oh, we're gonna see an Ixalan's Binding
Oh wow.
on this
That's-
Chandra, and he's another one in hand.
Wow. That's a very big swing here for Dustin.
So Chris now actually has to find a threat.
Yeah.
He only has 2 removal spells,
Mm-hmm.
a card that cannot be cast, and a land. And just another land.
Yeah, and I believe Chris is what on 2 energy from the Harvester entering the
yes.
battlefield. You guys can't see it on camera, but that's okay. Maybe we'll get that moved. Yeah, we'll get that moved over there so you guys can keep an accurate track of how much energy Chris has. Currently sitting on 2, now going up to 3, playing that Aether Hub.
Yeah. So that
He's just gonna pass. I
he
believe
doesn't have anything. He doesn't have any
Yeah.
sorcery speed
It
interaction.
looks like he's sitting on, based on the glance, we got 2 lands, a Chandra, and an
It's
Braid.
it's a Braid,
It's an
Unlicensed
Braid.
Integration, Chandra, and now
a
1 land.
Yeah, and with fast land too.
Yeah. So we're gonna see. I don't know why he didn't play the fast land there. It's probably
Yeah.
just.
Well, he played the Aether Hub that turn.
There's no real reason to not. I would just rather play
Well,
my fast land.
yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
really matter, but.
Yeah. Well, Dustin with a big turn here. He played the.
Yep. So we're gonna see how much Chris values that 1/1 that
Mhm.
I expect. We're gonna see the gifted Aetherporn die here to Unlicensed Integration.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see if he feels like abrading the.
The 1/1.
Yeah. So.
Mhm.
Oh, this is... It gives it indestructible,
Oh.
and you scry one, I believe? Or is that Vampire Zeal? That might be Vampire Zeal.
I believe that's Vampire Zeal. And
So that's not going to work the way that Dustin wants it to.
Well, yeah.
Oh, so they're going to have him take that back. Now, that would have been good against the Abrade
That is true.
in his hand.
Yeah. And Dustin will take 3.
And
Chris is just going to pass.
Yeah, so Chris has
that
not
was
found a way to win this game.
Yeah, I believe that was on Chris's main phase based on how he tapped his mana. I'm curious why he didn't go for that unlicensed disintegration at the end of Dustin's turn.
Yeah, that would have been...
maybe he wanted to see what he wanted to draw.
And here's the Sanctum Seeker.
Yeah, here's the Sanctum Seeker.
So we're going to see here, and I believe that is a 3/4. So that cannot be abraded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is
so
been confirmed. It is a 3/4.
We're going to see here an attack.
Yep.
He's going to upgrade the token. Now, we're still going to get a trigger.
Yeah.
So that may not have been done how Chris wanted it to.
Yeah, but it is going to get... I believe that is a 1/1 lifelink vampire.
Yeah, it is a lifelink, but Chris didn't let it connect. Now,
Yeah.
Sanctum Seeker is a drain effect. It does...
It is a drain
it is
effect.
lose 1, gain 1.
Yes.
In his hand, I believe right now is Vicious Conquistador, double Vampire Zeal.
Oh, wow. That's a very strong play. Unless we see Chris draw
So does Chris find...
Here.
He drew a Heart of
He
Kirin.
drew a Heart of Kirin, but he can't play his
He can't
Chandras.
crew his vehicles.
Yeah, well, he can't play his Chandra. I think that's the biggest thing here.
Well, yeah, like that is the biggest thing here.
Well, yeah. He can't play his Chandra to give him access to that Heart of Kirin for attacking or blocking. He's gonna play it out though, which I think
yeah,
is,
you're always play it out.
Yeah, you always play it out.
So he's gonna get to untap, and now he has protection for that Sanctum Seeker in the form of those 2 copies of Vampire Zeal.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not sure that other creature in his hand. I think it's a Vicious Conquistador, but there is a chance it's another copy of Sanctum Seeker.
Mm-hmm.
The arts are kind of similar from our viewpoint.
I think he would want to play out the Vicious Conquistador.
Oh, definitely.
First. Just start
he's
getting
tapping
aggressive.
some mana, just going...
Double Vampire Zeal.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That one doesn't have lifelink, so I think he's just trying to get as much damage in as he can.
I think he's just trying to race Chris here.
So Chris is going to hit for 8 total after the trigger.
Yeah.
And Dustin's going to gain 1, so I think we're going to be at 11 all.
Yeah. I heard the players conversing. I believe that
I think they're just trying to figure out the math. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to see what Dustin has, what his other card in hand is, and he's just going to pass the turn.
Yeah. I think what we need to see from Chris here is just a creature to crew his vehicles.
Yeah, if Chris finds any creature, this would be pretty good.
Oh,
Pianalar is
Chandra,
insane.
Pianalar, yeah.
Because he can crew both.
Oh,
Oh, he can't. Sorry, he can't crew both.
no.
It is 3.
If he really wants to attack with the Heart of Kirin, he can. I wouldn't recommend it, but he definitely can.
So what I would probably do here is use the
Well, actually,
Thopter.
he actually can't. Well, he can't crew. Wait, he can crew both this turn.
He can crew both, but he can't attack with both.
Yeah. Well,
you'd have to do a crew chain to get to the Heart of Kirin because you need a total of 4 power.
Yeah, isn't Chandra's secondary ability a Flame Breather on artifacts? Or is it artifact creatures? I mean, either way, couldn't he...
Oh, you're right. He can pump the Thopter twice.
Yeah, make it a 3/1.
I forgot about that.
And then he can tap with both attack and start gaining some of that life back that he's losing on the Kenki from the...
so he's just going to go for the Heart of Kirin.
Just going to go for the Heart of Kirin, yeah.
And is he going to pump? He's not going to pump.
Nope.
I would have elected to pump.
Yep. Maybe wanting to... Making Dustin think he has a removal spell in hand, even though I believe we would have seen it.
Yeah, probably. He
last turn?
spent a lot of turns not
Yeah.
doing anything.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, we'll get a clarification. Yeah, target artifact creature gets +1/+0.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Still, really good draw.
Yeah, and
So
Dustin's completely on the ground here. So
yeah. Well, he just drew a flyer.
yeah, he did just
but
draw
it's not a great
flyer.
flyer.
Yeah, it's not a great flyer. It's only a 1/1, which means it's at best gonna trade, which in this racing scenario is very relevant. Even if he's blocking one of the Heart of Kirin or Aethersphere Harvester, I believe we would see a block on the Heart of Kirin because it is a 4/4 versus a 3/5. So he's essentially gaining 4 life for the turn.
So
we see an attack from Dustin putting Chris down to 7.
yeah, and Dustin up to 8, which is important.
Yes.
See here what Chris draws. It was, I believe, a Toolcraft. Yeah, Toolcraft Exemplar. That's that's really big.
Does Chris just have lethal here with this?
So he's at 8.
Yep. He can
Crews Heart of Kirin, uses the Thopter to crew Aether Sphere Harvester, attacks with everything.
Yep. He can also make the creature unable to block.
Yeah, so that's gonna be 7, 9. Yeah, that's just gonna be lethal, depending on what the other card in Dustin's hand is.
Yes.
There's a possibility that it is a removal spell.
Yeah.
If it is, then it's gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can he do it through a removal spell?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
1, 2.
I believe even if there is a removal spell, he still takes 5.
It depends on what the removal spell is on.
Yes, that is true. He might.
Chris is also not sacrificing it so the Dustborn Sky Marcher can't block.
Well, he just passed the point where he could. He can attack first and then.
Yeah. He's still, if there's no removal spell, he does still win through this.
Yes.
He blocks the Heart of Kirin. He pumps the Aether Sphere Harvester 3 times. It's a total of 8 damage.
Yeah, and maybe that's just what he was looking at. Oh, here before damage, it looks like he's going for the pump ability. He might just have lethal here.
He does have lethal.
Yeah.
If there is no removal spell, he has lethal.
Yes. There's 3 from the Harvester and the activation of.
You can activate PF 3 times.
Yep. I believe maybe he was considering the sacking the Thopter, but I believe
I would have sacked Thopter if you
were going to do that, you'd do before combat. But I believe he's just going to pump
obviously
he's just going to pump 3 times. And
if you sacrifice the Thopter to make it so the Sky Marcher can't block, then you do have lethal through a removal spell.
Yes, I believe he's just going to activate it 3 times.
He's going to go to Dustin taking lethal.
Yep.
What's that card in your hand, Dustin?
Yep.
Nope. Not a removal spell. So
not a removal
Chris
spell.
Maphet is going to take this game 2 games to 0 against Dustin Stockhoff. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, we could get a clarification. But I believe even though we were seeing a more stream-like main, I guess you would call it tier 1.5 deck versus more of a brew, I still think we saw 2 very competitive games.
Yeah, honestly, if that PNLR was just like another land, or if Chris waited 1 more turn to draw just a threat, I think Dustin gets that game. That Ixalan's Binding was huge.
Yeah. Now, I'm curious if that was maybe a main board or if that came out of the sideboard. Is that
my guess is that it's probably main board.
Yeah, Ixalan, but I believe in this kind of a deck that Dustin was playing, it seemed like more of a mid-range. It wasn't as fast as some of the mono-white vampire decks, or as fast as some of the mono-black decks, so I think it would have been main boardable. Curious if it was a split with the other card you mentioned that he cycled.
Forsake the Worldly?
Yeah, Forsake the Worldly. I wonder if that was maybe a split.
Maybe. Well, Forsake the Worldly, do you know what that card does? It's a disenchant effect.
Oh, you might as. Oh yeah, you're right.
I think you're thinking of Cast Out. Cast Out's the exile effect.
I was thinking of Worthy.
Okay.
Yeah. If he was, but no, Cast Out would be a very good card also.
Yeah, Cast Out. A lot of the people are debating right now whether it's better to play Cast Out or Ixalan's Bindings in your white mid-range / maybe combo decks if you're playing Godpharaoh's Gift. So I still personally like Cast Out, especially if you're playing something like Approach where you're trying to interact at instant speed.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest plus to it, but I also think against a lot of these Teamer and Sultai decks where you're seeing multiple 4-ofs, you can very much stop your opponent with a lot of plays.
Yeah, so one of the biggest draws to Ixalan's Binding is these control decks, like Blue-White Approach, Blue-Black Control. They actually don't run that many different threats. Blue-Black Control's main threats to win the game are really just
Hostage Taker.
No, not Hostage Taker. Scarab God and Torrential Gear Hulk.
Yeah.
If you play a Ixalan's Binding on one of those, that turns off about half their threats.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
going to be back here for round 3 in a little over probably 20 minutes,
Yep.
and we will see you guys a bit later.
Yep.